let's start with your name.
Dolores Frails.
Okay, that's your
Dolores Hall Frails.
Hall.
That's my maiden name, Hall.
Okay. Now you from Trenton?
I was born in Trenton, Mercer Hospital.
Okay. Been here all your life, huh?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What's your birth date? You don't have to tell me the year.
Oh yeah, I love
Okay.
telling.
Well, good. Tell us all then.
April the 11th, 1934.
Okay.
I just had a birthday. I'm 86.
86.
Yeah.
My Lord. You don't look 86, honey.
And I love it. I'm so thankful,
I
so
know.
grateful, you know.
Okay.
Yes. I appreciate each day.
Very good. Very good. Okay. So,
Do not take anything for granted.
the Halls. Who are the
Morning
Halls?
by morning, new mercies I see.
Okay.
Hall, my father's name was Pat Hall.
Mhm.
He lived on Vine Street, he and his second wife, because my mother died when I was very young and he married again. And they lived on Vine Street for years, and he was well known because he was the pinochle man. People would come to his house on all the weekends, Sundays the house would be full. They'd be playing pinochle,
Okay.
you know. So he was quite well known for that. Because
Okay.
after later years when I was at the center and I mentioned his name and how about they remember Pat Hall.
Okay,
Yeah.
something. Now, you a pinochle player?
Pardon?
Are you a pinochle player?
How about he tried to teach me and I said, first I said yeah, then I said no. And then I said I'm glad I didn't learn because I see the pinochle players at the senior citizen center and they be playing pinochle from the time the center open to, although it's good for them to have something, but I don't like it like that, you know. But there have been times in my life I said, oh, I should have learned how to play. But I did play little cards, but not that.
Right.
Yeah, but he loved it.
I like playing some pinochle now.
Do you?
I'm not very good at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, I'm sure the
Yeah.
the games he had, no folks were serious. You
They
know.
were very.
Yeah, they be throwing things at me when I play. Okay. Now you say your mom died when you were very young.
Yeah, she died when I was 3.
Okay, so you don't
Yeah.
you don't really remember her.
I remember a couple little things about her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We remember.
How
her.
about I remember my father holding me over the casket
Oh.
in his arms. I remember that. And I remember we was going by, grad school was brand new.
Okay.
And I remember us going to church, which was on Perry Street, and we were skipping over the lines. And I remember the brand new school over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. Okay. Your brothers and sisters?
I have a half brother.
Uh-huh.
His name was Richard Bronner, and they called him Bozo.
Okay.
And he was quite well known at 5 Point at the time when there was a lot of activity, you know, and everything. He had been in the war. He was a Marine, and he had problems after that, and he drank, whatnot. He was married to Geraldine. He had 2 sons. But anyhow, I contributed to what happened to him during the Vietnam War. But he drank, but he was very popular up there because he would run errands and stuff for Skippy Jack, you know.
Okay, right.
Yeah, his name was Boza.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It was a nasty war. It was a
Yeah.
very nasty war. You know
Yeah.
what they did with us kids
Terrible.
don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Make no sense at all. Okay. Now, what schools did you go to?
School. I didn't graduate, but I did get my GED. I went to Trenton High, of course. And about school, I went to Parker School Elementary, and when it was time for me to go to junior high school, I was so looking forward to it because I've always heard about New Lincoln School. That's all, you know, I couldn't wait to get there. And the year that I was supposed to start there was the year of integration. It hurt me so bad. I had to go to junior 4, and that affected me. It really did. But anyhow, I went on to Trenton High, and I did not graduate. But then later I got my GED.
How did going to junior 4 affect you?
It seemed like it affected my mind. Because I didn't like the atmosphere. I couldn't get
It was all white back then, right?
It was all white, just a few black people. And I remember just being in that environment, I just felt out, you know. Okay. Yeah. And I think that affected my learning ability.
I'm sure. That's traumatic.
Yes.
People don't understand that, but that's traumatic. You know?
It certainly was for me.
You know, nowadays they always talk about, you know, busing white kids into black schools and how traumatic that is for white kids. They never understood it. It's just as traumatic for us too.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Now, were the elementary schools segregated back then, or?
It was integrated, but it was more black.
Okay,
there was a lot of Jews down in South Trenton.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of Jews, Jewtown and all that was Jewish.
Oh, yeah?
Market Street all down, and there was the Jewish stores and stuff.
Huh.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
And right down the street, the Jewish slaughter pens and all that was in South Trenton. Yeah. That's big industry back then for them.
Okay.
You know, Trenton was big industry, period. Trenton make the world take, so they had a lot of stuff going on back in those days.
Right.
You know. Black people could get jobs, you know, manual jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they tell me that back in the day, if you didn't like one job, you can just go somewhere else and take care of your family.
That's right. Big factories. Okay. Yeah. My father worked for Acme Rubber for years.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was shop steward.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, you lived on Vine. Did you know that Bridgewaters lived on Evans? Leo Bridgewater, he worked at Acme Rubber too.
I know that name. I know that name.
Big dude.
I know, but can't get it, but I know that name.
Okay. Good. So, all right, you went to Trent High, got your GED, okay?
And then I was in the first, during that time, that's when the UPI came to town, United Progress. Oh, that reminds me of when the civil rights movement, when it first started showing on the TV, on the television. We would be glued to the television watching the police putting the dogs on the people and chasing them. I couldn't get away from it, you know. So anyhow, because I wanted to be there and fight with them. But anyhow, after
I know you did.
I couldn't wait. So when the Southern Christian leadership came to Trenton, oh, we was ready, honey. We got out there and marched, you know. Okay. Yeah, that was a good time. It was such togetherness at that time, the black people. We marched. And I went to Philadelphia and marched and everything. It was on their way to Washington for the big march. But then I had to come home. But I took the bus. Me and my aunt and all. We took the bus back to Chicago. To D.C. at the the march on Washington. Okay. And that was quite an experience. It really was, you know. Okay. I said, I pray that we could be together like that these days, the togetherness of the people. So, I think I was still talking about something else. But that was quite one of the wonderful experiences of my life. Yeah.
That was the King, I Had a Dream?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I had a dream. Okay. It was wonderful being there alive, you know, seeing all that. And all the movie stars, I remember a group of them passed by close, you know. I got to see them. was good.
So how was Trenton back then?
Slow. Wasn't nothing too much going on. You
I
know,
mean,
that's what,
racial climate.
yeah. Well, I didn't really experience too much because we were separated. You know, other than school. You know, I didn't mingle too much with those people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So after that, I know I did. We organized and got together to fight for different things. I was in one organization, We the People. We was protesting and shut down. It was a grocery store on Calhoun Street, a big grocery store over there. I remember us protesting over there, and I remember us protesting at before they built the police station on Clinton Avenue, because we didn't want it in our community. We fought for that.
Mm-hmm.
We the People. That was a good organization in Trenton. And after that, I was involved with all of the black movement. You know, we got together and we got the Black Cultural Center on Brunswick Avenue. We got that together.
Where was that at?
On Brunswick Avenue.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a nice little place there.
Uh-huh.
We didn't last too long, it seems. But anyhow, we got it together. It was a cultural center there for a few years.
That's historic. I didn't know that.
Y'all know?
Oh,
And out of that, we also had a black, what was all of us like was associated together around, and then we had a black theater group. Did you ever hear Super Bad Drama Company? No.
Never did.
Well, let me see what year that was. This is a thing from that. This was 71. This is our program. We performed at the State Museum and Mercer County College and a few other places. It was a wonderful experience. Omar Wally, his real name is in here. He was he worked at the news channel over there. Was on Prospect Street, I think. Yeah, and he got us all together for this drama company, and we did black drama. You know, it was wonderful. We had a good time. Yes, indeed.
And that was back in about the time they started APAS, wasn't it?
Oh, I love APAS. Don't remind me. They closed that school down.
I know.
But anyhow, I've volunteered over there for years. I used to sew and everything for over there. I loved it, that school. Yeah. Yes. So sorry. Yeah. So sorry they had to close because, oh my God, that's what we need. That's what we need. It in a nutshell.
That's true. That's true. My kids went there and it changed all our lives.
Yes.
Not just theirs,
Yeah.
you know, all our lives.
Yeah.
Oh.
My granddaughter went there. Wonderful people.
You were always involved with the black movement.
Yes, I loved it.
Okay.
I still do.
I know.
Right now I'm in love with Al Sharpton. That's my man. Oh, he's wonderful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you a member of what? National Action Network?
Yes, that's
Right.
him.
Okay.
Yeah, beautiful.
Okay. Have you ever gone up to see him?
No, I haven't, but I wish I could. I put it like that.
Right.
I would go. I would go on a Saturday.
Okay.
It's every Saturday morning.
So you met Jesse Jackson
Huh?
at the airport.
Yeah, I love Jesse Jackson. I was on my way from Africa, and we was at the same airport. I said, "Oh, there goes Jesse Jackson." He was on his way from where's his name?
South Africa?
Yeah, he was on his way from when they let him out of prison.
Uh-huh.
What's his name?
Mandela.
Mandela.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so he was leaving. We was leaving Africa the same time at the airport, and my daughter had bought me a movie camera, and I told her, I said, push that button. I'm gonna go over here to Jesse Jackson and take our picture. So I went running over there, and I was talking with him, and time she got it. Start taking the picture. Here come the old black security guard. Said, no pictures, no pictures. I was sick of her, but got a little bit on film.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
What year was that about? I guess.
Yeah.
90s?
It was in the 70s. No, that was 1990.
Yeah.
Because I was in Africa in 1990.
What part of Africa you go to?
I went to Senegal, Dakar.
Okay.
Senegal was, that was an experience. Because I always loved Africa because I didn't know nothing about Africa and all that until the 60s. Because we used to do a lot of entertaining, me and my husband. And one of his friends, Alex Levine.
Alex.
You remember Alex?
Of course I remember Alex.
I love Alex, but Alex would come to our house all the time talking about Africa because he had been there and he loved it. And that's how it rubbed off on me. Oh, I love the stories. And the natural, I was just fascinated with it. That got me I learned how to sew because of that.
Really?
I started making all my African clothes.
Okay.
And another one of our friends at that time, named Trina, she lived in New York. But anyhow, she came over and she had the afro, haircut. And we never thought that we could wear our hair. It just wasn't done to wear your hair naturally.
Right.
Oh, I fell in love with it. And of course, when she left, I immediately got my hair like that. And I just couldn't believe it that people would laugh in my face. And I thought when they seen me, they would jump on it, I couldn't believe it. But anyhow, they would laugh in my face and everything. But about 2 years after that, everybody had a big old afro. I was so happy.
Yeah.
And then all through the years, all the different hairdos and everything. I was upset one time because there's nothing wrong with the different hairstyles. Well, mainly it's what's under here. It doesn't matter about that, but I wasn't at that point at the time. It would upset me when I see all the black people with this long, straight hair and blonde. Or I'd really be upset when it be blonde. But but like now, I'm perfectly satisfied because it doesn't matter, and there's enough people natural, and I learned to love some of the other styles also, because they pretty people.
Right.
They pretty people, and like I said, the main thing is what's under. That doesn't really matter as long as you clean and pay for it like that.
Dig it. That's true.
Yes.
Now, when did you get married? When did you meet Mr. Frails?
I met him in 1960. I got a picture of him over there.
Okay.
1960. He was from New York. And I met him over to my cousin's house. I went in there one day, and there he was. Anyhow, that was a good part of my life because he would take me to New York. He was a jazz fanatic, and we would go to New York almost every other weekend. We'd be going to all the high spots, Birdland, and all the places. We had good times. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and we later separated after 11 years, but that was a lot of fun times with him. I remember. I'll try not to remember the other time. But you know what goes on in our community in those streets, the drugs and alcohol.
Yeah.
Took a lot of our good minds.
Right. And still
Highly intelligent people are the ones that get in trouble, filled with the jailhouse today. That's the ones I pray for my babies in the prisons that they just throwing, oh my God, and killing them in the street when they feel like it, you know. That's the worst thing going on for me, you know.
Don't make
It's
no
horrible.
sense.
But we keep, no matter what, we keep on fighting. That's all we can do, fight it.
That's all we can do.
Stand up and fight it.
That's all we can do.
And especially we as Christians, we got to stand up and do more in these churches. And that's what I'm praying for, you know. Be about helping our people. Yeah.
How many kids do you have?
I have 2 daughters,
2 daughters?
Deborah and Robin. My oldest daughter, she taught junior high for a while, but then she went to work for the state environmental protection. She had a very good job with them, but she had a severe stroke and didn't get help in time because she didn't know what was happening, you know. She was on her job, and she gets off her job at 4:30, and 7:30 someone said to her, Deborah, why are you still here? So she said she had felt this tingling in her legs, but she didn't know what it was. And it was 7:30 at night, and she left after somebody told her. And she drove herself home. And the next day, 12 o'clock, I was at the art place. She called me and said, Mommy, I can't move. That's like 9 years ago. And by so much time going by without getting that help, she can't move nothing but this now. And she's in the nursing home, and you know what's going on in the nursing homes now, which is horrible. Wasn't so good before.
Right.
Because they don't pay the people enough money,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And it's really a lot of hard work, you know. So I always pray for the caregivers. Yeah, that's a job.
Yeah, it is.
So that's my oldest daughter. Then my second daughter is Robin. Robin is a massage therapist by trade, but she's my girl, Robin. And then we have 4. I have 4 grands and 9 great grands, and you know you take on the rest of them, they're your babies, all
Right.
of them.
Right.
So I'm very happy with my family,
You're blessed.
blessed
Yeah.
and happy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very good.
Yeah, I'm very blessed. Most of them is doing the best they can.
Right. I know what you mean.
Most of them is.
Hey,
Yeah.
that's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And a few is really doing good. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I've been a blessed soul.
Okay. Now, what kind of work did you do?
Well, actually, after I was one of the first, I was in the first class of teacher aides after United Progress came to town. And I was in that program, and I was in a class of, I was the first class of the teacher aides. And I worked at Jefferson School, but there was a problem between myself and one of the teachers, because at that time, I guess they figured I was militant because of this haircut, right, at that time. And so I had a problem after going into this young white lady's kindergarten class. And the problem was that I remember one problem in particular is this one little boy that did her in, but I could take him out in the hall and talk to him. So that was a problem, you know. But anyhow, it came to a point where she told a lie and got me out of the classroom. But before I left, I lost my temper with her, and I ended up in jail. So I don't want to talk about that. But I remember Lemuel Blackburn came to my rescue. So anyhow, it wasn't that could be done because I had to admit it, you know. So, I mean, it's a very frustrating.
It is.
For us sometimes.
It really is.
You know, the things that people have to go through simply because they're black.
Yep.
It's ridiculous.
And she couldn't accept that you were helping, you know, and instead of being jealous and envious of what you could do, just build with that.
That's
you
what
know,
happened.
you
That's
do what you can do with these kids. I'll do what I can do with these kids, and get together.
Yeah, she told a lie, got me out. But I got it. I got it good. So that was the end of that career.
So you went down swinging, huh?
So after that, I started working with, from that, I went into Street Academy. You heard it? I know you heard. No. Street Academy was on East State Street.
Really?
And we would go out and get the young teenagers off the street and teach them their culture. And so many of them, that's where I got half of them books and stuff from. We went and got them off the streets, and they came, so many of them, and went on to college. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
Yes,
What street? Who did?
Street Academy. Lord, let me try to get this straight. The one just died. Dr. Long had something to do with it. What's his name? I can see him so good.
Jack.
I'm getting a, oh God. It's a shame, you know my memory ain't too good, but I can see him so, what's his name? Bob Blockham.
Blockham?
Blockham from, they were part of the, Bob and who else?
He was from Trenton?
No, they wasn't from Trenton.
Okay.
No, they wasn't from Trenton.
Okay.
Darryl, and you know Omar Wally?
Omar Wally.
Yeah, he was one of us.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All of us.
Seems like you had a long run with Omar Wally.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, I remember when Omar Wally came to Trenton.
Okay.
And that's when he was into that black culture, and all that. He was all part of all that, what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
I love Omar Wally and Irene, his wife. Yeah.
That's
Beautiful
good.
people.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now you were talking about Al Levine.
Oh, yeah. His father, I think his father changed his name when he came. They came from some island. And when they came to New York, he was a tailor, his father, and he couldn't find work, so he changed his name to a Jewish name. So that's how he got work.
Hey, we do what we got to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good.
Al
Al was a
Levine,
great man.
yeah.
He's a very great man.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what did you have? What were your dreams that you wanted to do? That you wanted to see?
Well, I remember, like I said, because I at one time I would take care of. I got a certificate for health aid, certified health aid, and I would take care of the elderly people, and but I did a lot of private duty. That's how I made really good money doing private. You should, because you're giving up your life taking care of these old rich people, you know. But anyhow, I said, what do I really want to do, since I'm giving up my life and all for this money, and I was saving my money good and everything because I had a purpose. Because actually I had a house and I had lost my house, and I said I'd do anything to get me another house. So anyhow, I said, what do I want? One thing I want in life, and that was to go to Africa. Oh, I wanted to go to Africa. You know, hear all about. I just was in love with it. So anyhow, that's what I did. That's one goal that I did. And I've always worked and took care of my family. And and I've always had time for my spiritual growth. That's a very big part of my life.
Well, how do you mean that?
Pardon?
How do you mean your spiritual growth?
Well, growing in knowledge of myself and my spiritual being, you know.
So you talking about like Christianity?
Oh yes, Christian. Well, not. I mean, I was a Muslim for a while. I was in Islam because at that time it was black supremacy. Actually, it was. Well, I was in love with blackness, and I was in love with what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was saying and doing. You know, so it was very easy. I always loved God, and I loved being a Christian. But that took over me at that time, the blackness of it all. So I was into that for some years, and I loved it. But I went back, you know, to Christianity, which is one God.
Right.
You know, we serve Him. And that's not the thing. Is that we have a relationship with God. Religion is not. It's not about that.
Right.
But I just love serving. Serving in the church, and I was a member of Cadwalader Asbury United Methodist Church. That's my mother's religion, and my father's religion was Pentecostal. So I was in both of them, but most of my young life, it was Pentecostal because that's when I was living with my father and stepmother. So I was there, and I've been that. I think that spirit has always been in me. I've always been that. But as a teenager, I went to live with my grandparents, and they were Methodists. So Sunday morning you go to church. So that's what I did every Sunday. So I stayed in United Methodist Church all these years. But Cadwalader Asbury closed a few years back, about 4 years ago. They closed because inner city, the people die out, you know, for different reasons why these big churches close. Beautiful old church. Yeah. And when that church, the black people moved to that church, white people was in that church. But of course, when the black people came, you know what they did. So, which is fine, you know, it doesn't matter, but I'm just saying. But anyhow, I love that church. But after they closed, my daughter Robin, she was at Grace Cathedral. And my church would close early because, you know, Methodist, couple hours, you're finished. So I would run over to my daughter Robin's church, and it came a time I said, so I would come to when they was talking about closing the Methodist church, well, I said, well, I had no problem because I know where I'm going, because there came a point, I said, well, I don't know if I'm going there, but I do know I'm going to Grace because I just fell in love with that Pentecostal. You know, and such a loving atmosphere over there. I love it. Y'all know we on film. But that's where I'm at now. And when I was at Cadwalader Asbury, I tried to serve. I was on quite a few different committees and whatnot. I was on the usher board. And at one time, we had this organization called Now Outreach, and I was the leader for the outreach, and we would serve the community. We would serve food every week and whatnot. We did our duty toward the community. I loved it, you know.
So I guess I pretty much know what you think about racism and bigotry. But
Yes.
why don't you tell folks?
That's right.
What do you think about that?
Pardon?
What do you think about it? Do you think we're ever going to get past that?
Well, I don't know about these people, you know. I don't know what they're going to do. But I know one thing, if they don't get past it, they're going to burn in hell, because this is what you're supposed to do. Is you're either right or you're wrong, and there's no in between. And if you do wrong, you won't make it, you know. So I would urge people to do as God says do. He's the maker of all the earth, and he loves us all, and he wants us all to be saved. So we have to do certain things. He gives us books of instructions. All we have to do is read and follow them and turn from our evil ways and follow the Lord. And that's just righteousness and truth, you know. If you don't, you're going to burn in hell. Really, the bottom line is you won't make it, you know. And I pray for those that won't listen to truth and be just as, you know.
Okay. Now you tell me that you went to live with your grandparents. What were their names?
Peter and Tina Hammonds.
Hammonds?
Yeah, Hammonds.
Yeah.
That's my mother's people. She at that time, she was a very gifted. She played the piano, and at that time they sent her to Philadelphia to study.
Mm.
They said she was out of sight, and I always heard about her beautiful piano playing, and I guess I was gifted, and I said, oh, what would I have done if she had lived? Because I was blessed with a voice. I can sing,
Okay.
you know, a little. So that's a gift, and I can draw. I can really draw. My painting ain't that great, but I've done some pretty good paintings because people have paid me for them. You know, I've sold quite a few. I'm associated with the A-Team, which is a art group that was meeting every week at the Trenton Soup Kitchen on off of Southern Street, Usher Street is on Task, and I go over there every Tuesday with this art group, and I don't do work there. When I do paint, I paint at home, but I'm there with the artists every Tuesday, which is a wonderful program because we all, in our community, we have so much, it's so hard making a living for us because we ain't educated, most of us, and all that, that we don't have time for some of our talents to develop, you know.
Right.
And that's a wonderful place because over there you can go over there and they teach you computers and you can get your GED, and it's really a good service over there. And plus they serve pretty good food every day.
Right.
Every day.
Yeah, I heard about that art program.
Oh yeah. You have to come visit us.
Okay.
And we go on art exhibits all around different places and whatnot. And yeah, we have art shows, involved in art shows, and I've sold quite a few little pictures. My pictures, they go for roughly 150, you know, which is nice little.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But I never did a whole lot of it.
Right.
But I always I do that, and I sew and I sing. So I have some of my mother's talents, you know, I'm thankful for.
Okay.
I've been blessed. And like the art, that artworks over there, I started going over there, I guess that was in the 80s, or, I don't know. But I was going there for art on Saturdays, art class. And one day the model didn't come in, and I always wore the African clothes. And so they asked me to be the model. So behind that, I got a job over there. So I was a model over there for quite a while. And I stopped being a model because I had a cousin in Philadelphia. I was her only relative. She was elderly. And they got in contact with me to try to get her in the nursing home because she was living by herself and, you know, the Alzheimer's, whatever. And so I went to see about her. And then because she had money, her husband was one of the big bishops over there, whatever. But she was another talented person. She was the pianist and all that. But anyhow, I was her only relative. So I went over there to try to get her in the nursing home. I said, I ain't putting her in no nursing home. And that's the work I do, you know. So I ended up getting everything straightened out and brought her to Trenton. And I took good care of her, and she took good care of me because she had money and I was her power of attorney. So that was some good. About 5 years I took care of her. But then she fell one day. I was letting her out of the car to go into the building, and the wind was so strong it knocked her down. So with the Alzheimer's and the broken leg, she had to go to the nurse. It was about time because that Alzheimer's is no joke. She be sweet as pie one day, then oh my God, and then. But that was a good time in my life, taking care of her. I was able to take care of her, but like I said, she took care of me, honey.
Okay.
Yeah, honey.
That's good.
That was good times. I had some wonderful times in my life. So thankful, grateful. And all my people around me. I've been around such wonderful people. Oh.
Well, tell me about this chair.
This chair, oh, my good friend, his name is Paul. Paul lives, he's a Muslim brother. He lives on West State Street. I forget his last name because I was trying to think of it. But anyhow, I was trying to sell this African stuff. And at the time, I had money. And I fell in love with these chairs. They really need to be reupholstered. And the one person that was supposed to do it, he died for it, and I should have had it done, but he died. But anyhow, he had about half of this stuff come from him, because he would have stuff, he'd call me, and I'd go running. But I fell in love with these two chairs, and then later on I found out somebody, because everybody come and want to know about these chairs. They told me that one person told me that somebody they know had the china closet that matched these chairs.
That's all you needed to know.
But I never did find out any more about it, but I sure wanted to. Yeah, they had the china closet that went with the...
Ain't that something?
Yeah.
Well, Mama, this has been...
Thank you so much. Come
You're very
on.
welcome.
And I love Nubian news.
Why, thank
I'll be
you.
the issue. I'm going to go to the restaurant over there, and I'll be the paper girl over there with the Nubian news. Because they had the newspaper behind the door, and people couldn't even see them. And I'll be broadcasting that newspaper. I got old ones. I got old copies of the Nubian news.
We appreciate that. We appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Come on.
You're very